It was one of those nights in late November when the air felt heavier than usual, almost like it was carrying secrets no one should ever hear. I had just moved into a small, old apartment on the outskirts of Boston. After a year full of stress and chaos, all I wanted was a quiet place to reset my mind. But peace was the one thing this apartment refused to give me. From the moment I stepped inside, I felt something was wrong. The building was old, yes, but the silence inside the apartment didn't feel normal. It felt intentional. As if the walls were listening. And then I heard it, a soft hum. Very low, almost hidden under the natural sounds of the building. At first, I assumed it was just the pipes or maybe the heating system turning on. But the hum didn't stay a hum for long. Slowly, it began forming strange, distorted tones, like someone trying to speak through water. I paused, standing in the hallway, trying to figure out where it was coming from. The sound didn't belong to any room. It felt like it came from the walls themselves. A whisper wrapped inside another whisper. My gut tightened, and for the first time, I felt a slight chill despite the room being warm. I tried to shake it off, telling myself it was just my imagination, the stress from moving, or maybe just the exhaustion of the day. But something inside me insisted I follow the sound. I walked down a narrow hallway, and strangely, it felt longer than it looked when I entered earlier. My footsteps echoed behind me like there was someone else walking just half a step slower. I kept glancing back, but the hallway remained empty. Just dim and quiet. Too quiet. When I reached the living room, everything looked normal. A faint orange glow from the streetlight outside spilled through the thin curtains. The furniture looked untouched. The carpet looked freshly vacuumed. Nothing seemed out of place except for one thing. On the coffee table. A mirror. An old, cracked mirror with a dark wooden frame. I froze. I knew for a fact that the apartment listing didn't mention any mirror. And I definitely didn't bring one. It was placed right in the middle of the table, facing the hallway, almost like it had been waiting for me. Curiosity mixed with unease. I walked closer, slowly, keeping my eyes on the mirror. The surface was dusty and cracked, yet it reflected clearly. But what I saw inside wasn't right. I didn't see myself. I saw a version of me, but pale. Very pale. Hollow eyes. And a smile I had never smiled in my life. Not a happy smile. Not a sad one. It was a smile that felt wrong. A smile that felt like it understood more about me than I ever would. I stumbled back in shock. My heart hammered in my chest, and for a second, I forgot how to breathe. But the reflection didn't move with me. It stayed still. It kept smiling. And then, it raised its hand. The hand inside the mirror lifted slowly, deliberately, as if reaching out to step into my world. At that exact moment, the apartment lights flickered violently. Once. Twice. And then the room fell into complete darkness. The hum I heard earlier turned into a full voice, distorted, broken, but unmistakably calling my name. The sound crawled under my skin, echoing inside my skull as if it came from both the room and inside my mind at the same time. I tried to grab my phone, hoping the flashlight would save me, but when I pressed the button, the screen stayed black. Dead. Completely dead. And I had just charged it minutes ago. Fear spread through me like ice water. The darkness in the room began to shift as shadows stretched across the walls, moving like living creatures crawling toward me. I panicked and made a run for the front door. But something strange happened. The hallway didn't end. No matter how fast I moved, I never reached the door. Every time I turned a corner, I found myself back where I started, staring into the living room again with that mirror silently waiting for me. A cold breath touched the back of my neck. Not a breeze. Not my imagination. A breath. Close. Too close. And then a voice whispered, "You should not have come here." The voice wasn't angry. It wasn't loud. It was a warning, soft, calm, terrifying. The kind of voice that knew exactly what would happen next. Time became difficult to understand. Seconds felt like minutes. Minutes felt like hours. My sense of direction, my memory of the apartment layout, everything twisted. I kept walking, stumbling, trying to escape the hallway, but each turn led me back to the same place. The mirror. It began to glow faintly now. Not bright, just enough for me to see its eerie pale reflection again. And against all logic, against every instinct screaming inside me, I walked toward it. I couldn't stop myself. It felt like invisible hands were guiding me forward, pulling me into something ancient and familiar. As I moved closer, my mind flooded with a memory I had forgotten for years. A nightmare from childhood. A dream where I was trapped inside a room with mirrors on every wall. And in those mirrors were versions of me that didn't belong to me, reflections that moved when I didn't. Reflections that smiled when I cried. Reflections that whispered to me that they wanted my place. I shook my head, trying to clear the memory, but the mirror pulsed like a heartbeat. The surface began to ripple like water. Before I could react, the room around me disappeared. I was standing in a dark, infinite void. No floor. No ceiling. No walls. Just endless darkness stretching forever. And I wasn't alone. Dozens of pale figures surrounded me. All of them looked like me. Or versions of me. Their eyes were hollow, their faces expressionless, but their mouths moved in silent words. As if they were trying to speak but couldn't. Or maybe, they didn't need to. One of them stepped forward. It came close enough that I could feel its cold presence. Then it whispered something in a voice I knew too well. My own voice. I tried to scream, but no sound escaped. The figures began advancing, reaching out with their cold, trembling hands. I tried to move, but the void had no floor. No gravity. Everything pulled me toward the glowing mirror behind them. I clawed at the darkness, but there was nothing to hold on to. Nothing to stop the pull. The reflection of me, the smiling, pale version, stepped forward and touched the mirror surface, pushing its way out. I realized then, the mirror didn't just show reflections. It collected them. It trapped them. And now, it wanted to trade. I was dragged deeper into the void, sinking into the endless black. The last thing I saw was my own reflection stepping out of the mirror, now standing inside my apartment. It looked around calmly, adjusting itself like someone putting on a new skin. And then, it smiled. When morning came, neighbors said they saw my apartment lights on. They saw shadows moving behind the curtains. But inside, everything was perfectly normal. The furniture untouched. The hallway quiet. And the mirror, no cracks, no dust. Just a clear reflection. A reflection that wasn't me anymore. Whoever walks into that apartment next will hear the hum. They will feel the cold breath. And the mirror will be waiting, patient and hungry. So remember this. If you ever move into a place and find a mirror that doesn't belong to you, don't look into it. Some reflections aren't just reflections. Some reflections are waiting. And some want to take your place. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Dark Veil Storyline for more chilling stories like this.